Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I've got a real treat for you today. This just came in. I do still Kickstarter. I back things on GameFound. I see games that just really intrigue me for a variety of reasons, and I just am so excited when they finally show up at my house. So this is called Bouba Kiki. It is a 3 to 8 player game that takes about half an hour to play and has a lot of simultaneous play and a fascinating educational core to it. And it is loads of fun. So let me read this to you because it's actually in the rule book. In psychology, the Bouba Kiki Effect shows that people around the world tend to associate given shapes with the same sounds, regardless of their language and background. And what this game does is it asks players to do that. And it works! It's so bizarre. Like the first time I got this out, usually my husband and I are not on the same wavelength, and we don't always connect with these kinds of association games, and we were clicking. It was fantastic. It was so wild. Like you just get done and you just say, yeah, that's just like what that feels like. So let me show you some of the components. This is going to be the board, and the basic setup for the game is that you put your check mark and your X on 2 times the amount of players you have. So right now I've got it on 10. That's for 5 players. And you want your check mark to work its way back all the way to 0 before the X does. Because every time a player gets the correct answer, you move forward the green check. And then if it's wrong, you move forward the red X. That's it. That's the basic concept of the game. And a round looks like this. This is on the easy side. I will flip this board over and show you that there are 4 possibilities for a more challenging selection. But every player is going to grab one of these colored disc sets of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like I said, there's a 4 on the other side of the board, so I'll just put my 4 up there for now because really all I'm looking at are these 1, 2, and 3. You've got words, but there is a chance for the scenario in the scenario booklet, which there are 8 missions with 5 different challenges for each mission. So there's a chance that these words would actually be the shapes. And you would be using your cards as words instead of shapes. But in this case, I've got these out here as the words. I've got foo, womo, and ippy pop. These are not words. These are just feels of words. And I'm going to look at my hand. I'm going to be the clue giver this round. And I'm going to try to look at one of these cards in my hand and say, is there an ippy pop? Is there a womo? Is there a foo in my hand that I'm feeling particularly, moved by? So I'm going to take a look at my cards and I'm going to find out which one of these is one of those. So I'm looking. Do I have any vibes? Do I have any... okay, so let's go with... Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to place this out. I'm going to take my discs in secret. That's going to be my clue for my fellow players. And I'm going to put my disc that matches. I'll put these face down. And I'm going to let everybody else at the table essentially pick their discs up, and then they're going to put it face down. They're going to guess, and then we're going to reveal which one I picked. Is this a foo? Is this a womo? Or is this an ippy pop? There's really no explanation, and there's no explanation needed following when the results happen if you don't feel like you want to explain why your particular word or image lined up for you. You just score it up, and then you just keep moving until you have successfully accomplished your goal for that particular round. That's the basic. Now, you might be wondering, is this which one? I hope you have guessed by now. I've given you enough time to. In my opinion, this is an ippy pop. To me, it feels like a blast. It feels like a pop. And so I'm thinking that that's what this is. Not necessarily a foo or a womo for me. And then I will discard my card. These cards go away. Of course, we're doing our scoring at this point. And then we get new words. So we've got div dav, zunzo, and po. These are going to be our new ones. I'm going to grab my new card here. And now I've got a bunch of my symbols now. But it's my turn to keep my guesses over here and for a fellow player to play their card down. and then we're going to guess. And so that's going to be the basics. But here's the cool thing. You have your scenario rulebook, and your scenario rulebook might ask you to, as it says here, choose a picture that's the worst fit for the target word. Or in Mission 1.5, the clue giver must choose a number token at random and give a clue for that word. So I shuffle up my tokens, and then I have to find a picture that's going to match that one. In some cases, there's a discussion allowed for players to decide together what they think the answer is, or in this case, a silent vote means no discussion. Every individual must guess themselves. And then this is where you're going to see it switch up. Are the targets out here words, or are they pictures? And so you're going to have a variety of these kinds of scenarios, and it is just a delightful game. You can see here, this stack is massive. There are just a ton of wild words, any wild combinations you've got here. Images that look like things sometimes, maybe don't look like things. Just blobs, shapes, who knows what this stuff is. Whenever you are essentially giving your clue, what you do is you could also make sure that whenever you put it somewhere that this is the orientation you want players to look at it. So it gives a little bit of assistance. Actually, it's supposed to look like this, right? And you put it down there like that. And you're also allowed to say the word out loud so that you can pronounce it the way you want people to interpret it. Not necessarily giving too much with emphasis, I would imagine. There's no kind of performative aspect to it. It's just simply the way that it's said. This is a treat. This is a real delight, and I can't wait to share it with my colleagues at my campus that I teach at, because I think it has just a ton of applications for educational value and for specifically looking at the Bouba Kiki Effect. But I think it's a great simultaneous group game where you have a collective goal, you're playing cooperatively, and you're trying to just suss out and figure out how people think, and if you can, it is just a wonderful feeling. So this just has so much. I can't wait. I think I'm going to grab another box as soon as I can so I can have a couple copies. That I think this just has a ton of potential. And I really can't wait to try it out with the extended scenarios, past scenario 1, which has the 5 missions within each scenario, to keep on going through that. But I have been just so delighted by this game and what it offers. It is just a really, really cool game. And a kind of endlessly replayable game, because I'm not going to remember these words. I'm not going to remember these pictures. I'm going to shuffle up everything every time. And I really, really like these discs. They're nice. They're clear. They're color-coded. I think that it just works really, really well. And all I wanted to show you on the back is that you have 4. So all you do whenever you have 4 is you're just simply going to place these 4 out. If it calls for 4 clues, whether it's going to be word clues or it's going to be the picture clues. So that's going to be the only difference on the actual board itself. Just a ton of fun. So I'm going to keep on having fun with the Bouba Kiki Effect. And we'll see you later, folks. Bye.